Today is Friday. Not just any Friday. It's the first Friday, and the first Friday of the month is quite special to a lot of us Catholics who practice the first Friday devotions. And on Fridays, not only do we have this special opportunity on the first Friday of every month, but on every Friday, our meditations when we're praying the Rosary focus on the sorrowful mysteries. Friday is a day during the week that is set apart, sanctified, if you will, to focus on the death of Jesus. What took place on that first tragic, we refer to it as Good Friday. It was a very tragic Friday in the life of Jesus, but a very rewarding and blessing for us that he died on Friday and then resurrected on Sunday. But Friday, we honor the day. We think about that. And the reason that he went to the cross on that first Good Friday was to redeem us, to save us from our sins. And on Fridays, we not only Fridays but also on Tuesdays, and also on the Sundays during Lent, we focus on those sorrowful mysteries. And what are the sorrowful mysteries that we meditate on? We meditate on his agony in the garden. We meditate on his scourging at the pillar. We meditate on his crowning with thorns. And we meditate on Jesus carrying the cross and then the crucifixion at Golgotha, where he was, after being brutally mistreated, he was brutally crucified and died for our sins. Now, I realize that I have more than Roman Catholics that watch these videos, and I'm really glad of that. We are in this together, and we can all learn from one another, regardless of our denominational background. As many of you are aware, I was once a Protestant myself, and not just a Protestant, but a Protestant pastor that started out in a denominational Protestant church, a very conservative Protestant denominational church. And we all have something to offer to one another, and we need to be sensitive to the needs of one another. And whether we're Catholics or Presbyterians or Episcopalians or Baptists or even non-denominationals, and even those who have been so burnt out by denominational organized church for one reason or another that they simply don't attend anywhere. They still love God, but because of some of the abuses in denominational areas, they've ceased to go to the house of God, whatever the name is over the door. And so we've got this great group of people, this great mix of people that are watching these videos, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And in watching these videos, by being here with me via this format, I feel this need to continue doing what I'm doing, because I believe what I'm doing is filling a need in the lives of other people. Chapter 52 talks about the oratory of the monastery, the collective place of prayer where the monks go to pray, to do the Opus Dei, Benedict refers to the work of God, the Opus Dei, as the prayer life of the brothers and sisters in the monasteries. And Benedict tells us that the oratory ought to be what it is called, and nothing else is to be done or stored there. After the work of God, all should leave in complete silence and with reverence for God, so that a brother who may wish to pray alone will not be disturbed by the insensitivity of another. Moreover, if at other times someone chooses to pray privately, he may go in and pray, not in a loud voice, but with tears and heartfelt devotion. Accordingly, anyone who does not pray in this manner is not to remain in the oratory after the work of God. As we have said, then he will not interfere with anyone else. I find that to be a very interesting reading. And even though Benedict is writing to the monks, to his students inside the monasteries, Benedict is also addressing something very serious here in the 21st century outside the monastery, in the churches, in the places of worship, in the places of prayer. And what is the Mass? It is the pinnacle. It is the pinnacle of the prayer life of the church. We go to Mass to pray collectively with our brothers and sisters and to celebrate the sacrifice of the Mass that's taking place on the altar, and then to receive Christ afresh in our prayer life. Now, Benedict says, be quiet. When you're not praying the office, be quiet. And I find it very disturbing I've got to be honest now, I find it very disturbing to go to Mass, to go to church, whether it's a daily Mass or whether it's on Sunday, and go in and try to still myself in the presence of Jesus and focus on Him in peace and in solitude, hoping to hear the still small voice of the Lord speaking to me. And what happens? We go in, and people, for some reason, want to use that pre-liturgy time as they're coming in to catch up on what they did yesterday, or the visitation that goes on aloud that's disturbing and disrupting the peace within that hallowed place of prayer. And then following, after the Mass has been said, after the prayers have been prayed, and we've been sent forth, rather than people being silent, to allow those who choose to stay behind in private prayer and private worship to have peace to do that, it just explodes with chatter. People talking about anything and everything under the sun, and at volumes that literally disturbs the peace. After the work of God, whether it's in the oratory at the monastery, after the work of God, or in our churches where the sacrifice of the Mass, the pinnacle of our prayer life as Catholics, takes place, all should leave in complete silence and with reverence for God. Why? So that a brother who may wish to pray alone will not be disturbed by the insensitivity of another. And one of the things that I've been trying to focus on with the Oblate Reflections, my blog, and also in this part of my Salty Catholic YouTube channel, is mining the wealth of good that's in this little booklet and integrating these principles of Benedictine spirituality into our daily lives in the 21st century. These are trying times that we live in, and we need substance. We need a firm foundation. We need a way to help us live the principles of Christianity, the ancient principles of Christianity.